Hello, welcome to CUTE and Aggressive Capybaras, a savage and whimsical strategy game where you get to play a capybara. Step into their cute world in search for fruits. Along the way, use items and face unpredictable events that take you closer to victory or slow down your journey. Here, I'll teach you how to play. The objective of the game is very simple. Be the first capybara to gather all the fruits from every hotbed or from your fellow players and make it back to the sacred hot spring to claim victory. Let's start with what's in the box. 6 unique and fruity hotbed mats. 1 super special and amazing sacred hot spring mat. 70 similar but different terrain tiles. 45 cute item cards. 25 exciting event cards. 36 delicious fruit cards. 4 Wikibara cards, or as most humans call them, reference cards. 1 long but very cute rulebook. 1 pretty dice. And 6 capybara figurines, or tchotchkes as we like to call them. How to set up the game. First, place a sacred hot spring in the middle of a table. Randomly choose 4 terrain tiles and place them on each side of the sacred hot spring. Then, shuffle both item and event cards separately and create a deck for each. Now, prepare the hotbeds and fruits by matching the number of players. Separate the respective fruits from the chosen hotbeds and place them on a deck near the board. Example, if there are 3 players, add 3 fruits of each. If there are 4 players, add 4 fruits of each, and so on. Then, each player randomly chooses a hotbed. They must keep it a secret because it can help them win their first fruit. Finally, deal 5 terrain tiles to each player, and depending on the number of players, place a specific number of additional terrain tiles on a separate deck. You can take a look at the table in the rulebook for more information. And this is how your table setup for 3 players should look like. The card decks for events, items, fruits, and terrains. Each player with their hotbed and terrain tiles. And in the middle, the sacred hot spring with the 4 terrain tiles. Okay, let's move on with how to play. There are 2 phases to accomplish the objective of the game. Phase 1, building the map, and Phase 2, collecting fruits. Let's start with Phase 1, building the map. The objectives of this phase are to build the map and match your hotbed to get your first fruit. Hotbeds have a unique composition of paths, so perfectly matching them on the map is a challenge worthy of a fruit. More on that later. First, roll the die to determine who goes first for the rest of the game. Players will take turns clockwise around the table. Next, players place a terrain tile on each turn that matches the path next to it, kinda like dominoes. Keep in mind that flower paths act as wildcards, so they can be placed next to any path, including other flowers. Then, players take an additional terrain tile from the deck at the end of their turn. Each player should end their turn with 5 terrain tiles on their hand, until no tiles are left in the terrain tile deck. Repeat this process until all tiles have been placed. Keep in mind the path composition of your hotbed while placing the terrain tiles. This will help you later on. Once the map is built, each player will attempt to place their hotbed on top of a terrain tile with corners matching its outer paths. If it matches perfectly, meaning all 4 paths match the other outer paths in the terrain tiles, the player wins the fruit from their hotbed, and it can be placed in their backpack or your hand immediately. One important consideration is that hotbeds cannot be next to the sacred hot spring or share the same terrain tile with other hotbeds. Finally, if any of the players cannot find a terrain tile that matches their hotbed completely, they can position it on any terrain tile with corners matching at least 2 outer paths. However, by doing this, they will not be granted any fruit to start the game with. But it's okay, they will be able to collect them later on. Well, that was a cute part of the game. Now, let's start with the aggressive part. Phase 2, collecting fruits. The objective of this phase is simple. Gather all the fruits from every hotbed or from your fellow capybaras and be the first one to make it back to the sacred hot spring to claim victory. Okay, All players start in the Sacred Hot Spring and receive 3 items to carry in their backpack. If you want a fruit in the first phase, then you'll start with 4 cards in your backpack. Remember that each backpack or your hand can carry up to 6 cards, including items and fruits. Let's see what you can do in your turn. For this section, you can use your Capybara card in case you forget any actions. In the beginning of your turn, there are 2 options you can go for. First, you can roll the die to see if you get any actions, 1, 2, or 3. You can also roll the item icon. In that case, you'll draw an item card. Or you can get the icon for 0 actions. The other option at the beginning of your turn is that you can discard all of your items and draw 3 new items. You must have at least 1 item in your backpack to do this action. What can you do during your turn? Well, you can spend 1 action point in any of the following actions. You can move around the map. You can only move horizontally or vertically. But there are items and events that can help you move faster. You can draw an item card and add it to your backpack immediately. Or you can play an item card. Once you have no action points left, you'll be in the end of your turn section. If you end up on a hotbat, you'll immediately collect its fruit. Just remember you can only have 1 fruit of each. Or, if you finish your turn on a terrain tile with an event, you must draw an event card and play it. For more information on game mechanics, you may look at the section of Miles' coaching board in the rulebook. And for detailed explanations on certain items and event cards, check the Capybara section. And that's CUTE and Aggressive Capybaras. Have fun collecting fruits, but most importantly, have fun at stopping other capybaras. We encourage that. See you on your next game night.